South Africa is in absolute shock following a massive police raid at the home of Douglas Ramaphosa, the brother of President Cyril Ramaphosa. The operation, carried out under tight secrecy in the early hours of the morning, has exposed what insiders are calling one of the most unbelievable discoveries ever made in a private residence. According to multiple sources within law enforcement, the raid was executed by the Hawks, assisted by members of the Special Task Force and Crime Intelligence units. The convoy of heavily armed officers arrived just before 5 a.m., surrounding the Ramaphosa estate in Sandhurst, Johannesburg, one of the most expensive neighborhoods in South Africa. Witnesses say police blocked all nearby roads, cutting off access to media and onlookers as the operation unfolded in near silence. When officers breached the gates, they immediately swept through the mansion. Within minutes, investigators began carrying out sealed boxes, electronic devices, safes, and files believed to contain highly sensitive information. But what they discovered behind closed doors was far more disturbing than anyone had anticipated. Inside a hidden section of the mansion, concealed behind what appeared to be a wine cellar door, police uncovered a fully equipped surveillance room. The chamber was reportedly filled with monitors, encrypted computers, multiple cell phones, USB drives, and documents marked classified. Several of these documents allegedly contain details of high-profile government dealings, offshore financial transactions, and even private communications between certain political figures. One source close to the investigation described the discovery as beyond comprehension, adding that some of the files contained links to foreign accounts and coded payment trails that could expose major corruption at the highest levels of power. Officers also seized bundles of hard cash, both in South African rands and foreign currencies, stored in hidden compartments within furniture. Forensic analysts have reportedly been called in to determine the source of the money, as some of the serial numbers allegedly match previous investigations into missing state funds. Perhaps the most startling revelation came when investigators found a second concealed chamber behind a movable wall in one of the home offices. Inside, there were shelves of black folders labeled with initials and dates, believed to correspond to meetings, deals, and private correspondences involving influential political and business figures. One officer on the scene was overheard saying, "If what's in here is verified, this could shake the entire government." Among the recovered materials were also surveillance photos, voice recordings, and signed contracts that reportedly point to a sophisticated web of political influence, secret funding, and behind-the-scenes negotiations, all hidden away within the president's brother's home. As soon as word of the raid broke out, social media erupted. South Africans flooded X, formerly Twitter, and Facebook with outrage, disbelief, and frustration. Many citizens expressed anger, accusing the political elite of treating the country like a playground for personal gain. Opposition parties immediately seized on the opportunity to call for accountability. The Democratic Alliance, DA, released a statement urging the police to release every piece of evidence found in the raid, warning that any attempt to cover up the truth would destroy what little public trust remains in our institutions. The Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, went even further, demanding the immediate questioning of both Douglas and President Cyril Ramaphosa, suggesting that no one should be above the law. In contrast, the presidency has remained unusually quiet. The president's spokesperson has refused to issue any formal comment, saying only that they were aware of the developments and that the president has full confidence in law enforcement. However, insiders within the ANC have reportedly expressed deep concern over the potential implications of the findings. Some senior members fear that if the contents of the seized documents are made public, it could trigger a political earthquake within the ruling party, especially with national elections on the horizon. Douglas Ramaphosa's legal team has already responded, calling the raid a politically motivated ambush and claiming that their client is being targeted to tarnish his brother's reputation. They insist that all the materials found in the home were legally acquired and taken out of context. Analysts are calling this one of the biggest tests for South Africa's justice system in years. If investigators can verify the authenticity of the materials, it could open the door to multiple high-profile prosecutions and potentially expose deep-rooted networks of corruption that have long operated in the shadows of government. Meanwhile, journalists and activists are demanding transparency. Civil society groups are calling for a public inquiry, arguing that South Africans deserve to know whether the country's highest officers have been compromised. As the investigation unfolds, one question looms large: how much did the president know, and when did he know it? What began as a quiet police operation has now spiraled into a full-blown national scandal. The discovery inside Douglas Ramaphosa's mansion has peeled back the curtain on a mystery that could redefine South Africa's political landscape. For now, the seized evidence remains under lock and key, and the nation holds its breath, waiting for answers. But one thing is certain: the truth uncovered inside that house will not stay buried for long. South Africa is watching, the world is listening, and the pressure is mounting. The walls are closing in, and what lies inside Douglas Ramaphosa's house may just change everything.